You ever notice how the world feels different at 2 a.m.? Not just quiet, but spiritually awake, as if something unseen is calling your name, as if a whisper rises above the silence. Get up, I have something for you. Because when Allah wakes you at 2 a.m., it is never without a reason. People think the night is empty, but the night is where destinies are rewritten, tears are accepted, hearts are repaired, and burdens are lifted. The night is where Allah pulls you out of everything that is destroying you and invites you into everything that will save you. Maybe you went to bed overwhelmed, carrying a weight only your heart can feel. Maybe life has been suffocating you silently, your faith shaking, your plans collapsing, your hope thinning day by day. Maybe no one sees what you're battling. No one hears what screams inside your chest, but Allah does. And that's why He wakes you at a time when everyone sleeps, when no notifications distract you, when the world is paused. Allah opens a door directly between your heart and His mercy. A door only accessible in the deep hours of the night. A door where the angels stand waiting, recording every whispered du'a letter purification you make. When Allah wakes you at 2 a.m., it is a divine invitation, a conversation He chose you for, a moment written only for your soul. He wakes you not to tie you, but to heal you, to strengthen you, to pull you closer, to rearrange what you think is impossible. You sit there in the dark, half awake, wondering why sleep feels so heavy and yet your heart feels awake. That is Allah touching your soul. That is Allah shaking you gently, saying, "Come to me, I have something to give you." Maybe it's forgiveness. Maybe it's clarity. Maybe it's patience. Maybe it's strength. Maybe it's a peace you've been begging for. Or maybe it's the answer to a du'a letter to the Macron you've repeated for years. You might think you woke up because of noise, or stress, or your mind racing again. But sometimes the reason you wake up is because Allah wants to change your life quietly, beautifully, secretly, before the world sees it. And in that stillness, when you rise to pray, when your forehead touches the ground, when your voice cracks even before you speak, when your tears fall without your permission, you feel it, that softness, that calm, that heaviness lifting from your chest, that sense that someone finally understands what you haven't told anyone. That peace that doesn't come from this world, because Allah listens, Allah sees, Allah knows, and Allah responds, not with noise, not with chaos, but with silence that fills the heart, with tranquility that melts every fear, with hope that feels like light entering a dark room. When Allah wakes you at 2 a.m., He's not just calling you to pray, He's calling you to return, to remember who you are, to remember who He is, to remember that no matter how far you've drifted, His door never closes. His mercy never stops reaching. His love never stops pulling you back. You whisper, "Ya Allah, I'm tired." And He says, "Come to me, I will give you rest." You whisper, "Ya Allah, I'm lost." And He guides your heart in ways no map ever could. You whisper, "Ya Allah, I'm scared." And He surrounds you with a protection unseen, but stronger than anything that ever tried to break you. You whisper, "Ya Allah, I don't know what to do." And He writes a path for you that you didn't even know existed. This is why the righteous love the night, just love the night. Because in the night, the world sleeps, but the soul awakens. In tahajjud, you're not just praying, you're being rebuilt, rewired, rewritten. Your heart is learning to breathe again. And maybe you think your du'a letter to the Macron is too small, your pain too insignificant, your sins too heavy, your past too stained. But Allah says, "Call upon me, I will respond." Not as sometimes, but I will. Every tear you shed at night is counted. Every whisper is heard. Every sujood is recorded. Every request is carried by angels with honor and placed before the Lord of everything. And when the world wakes up again, they won't know why you look lighter, why your fears soften, why your heart feels new, but you'll know. Because you were awake when Allah called you, you answered Him. And He answered you. So the next time you wake up at 2 a.m., don't rush to check your phone. Don't turn over and force yourself back to sleep. Pause, listen, feel, because your soul is being invited, your heart is being summoned, your name is being chosen for a moment of mercy written only for you. Maybe Allah is preparing you for something bigger than you imagine. Maybe He is removing something harmful you couldn't see. Maybe He is giving you what you've been praying for. Maybe He is healing wounds you don't talk about. Maybe He is strengthening you for a future you can't yet comprehend. When Allah wakes you at 2 a.m., it means He is near, closer than your breath, closer than your thoughts, closer than your pain. And when you answer that call, even with a single du'a, let it be of Amakron, a single sajda, a single tear, you walk back into life carrying the kind of peace that no chaos can shake, faith that no fear can break, and hope that no darkness can extinguish, because the one who stands before Allah at night can stand before anything during the day. You know, there is something extraordinary about those quiet hours, something you can't explain to anyone who hasn't felt it. It's a moment where the world loses its weight and your soul becomes weightless. You're no longer a person surrounded by problems. You're a servant standing in front of the one who owns the solutions. Sometimes Allah wakes you at 2 a.m. not because you're strong, but because you're breaking, and He refuses to let you shatter silently. He wakes you because your heart has carried too much for too long. And instead of letting you drown alone, He takes you by the hand and says, Akam, give it to me. Your pain is not a punishment. Your loneliness is not neglect. Your tears are not ignored. They are signs that your soul is being washed, purified, softened. Do you ever wonder why the night prayer is hidden? Why it feels so private, so sacred, so personal? Because what Allah does for you at night is meant only for you. Your healing is written in secret. Your blessings descend quietly. Your breakthroughs come softly like raindrops in the dark. Allah fixes you when no one else even knows you're broken. And maybe this is why the believers before us used to wait for the night. They didn't run from the silence. They ran towards it. They ran towards it because they tasted a sweetness that can't be found in the day. They found a peace that doesn't belong to this world. They built their strength when the world was asleep and then walked among people like mountains. You see, the night is not empty. It's full of angels, full of mercy, full of acceptance. Every Ya Allah is recorded. Every sigh reaches the heavens. Every tear has a place in the divine presence, even the way you force yourself out of bed. Your tired body, your lazy steps, your sleepy voice. Allah sees it all. Allah loves it all. Allah rewards it all. Imagine this. The Lord of the skies, the one who created galaxies, the one who controls every heartbeat. He notices the moment you rise for Him. He notices when you wipe your tears. He notices when you whisper the du'a, let it be of Amakron. You're scared to say out loud. He notices when you kneel, when you bow, when you tremble. How could a God so loving ever ignore your pain? This is why He wakes you, not to burden you, but to lighten you, because the things you cannot carry during the day can only be lifted at night. Maybe you've been asking Allah for something for months, maybe for years, and each time you pray, you worry if He heard you. But the moment He wakes you at 2 a.m., He is telling you, I heard you. I always hear you. Come talk to me again. People often think the night prayer is difficult. But what they don't understand is, if Allah wants you at that hour, He will pull your heart to it gently. Many times, before a life-changing blessing, before a door opens, before a miracle arrives, Allah wakes you. Why? Because the gift He wants to give you requires a heart that trusts Him. And trust is built in Sujood. Think about the greatest shifts in your life. They never happen loudly. They happen quietly. Allah rearranges your destiny in the dark so you can walk into the light transformed. And maybe no one will ever know that behind your smile are nights of crying, nights of begging, nights of breaking and rebuilding. But Allah knows, Allah sees, Allah rewards. There is a reason the Prophet said that the closest a servant is to Allah is in Sujood. And this closeness becomes even deeper when everyone else is sleeping. When Allah wakes you at 2 a.m., He is not calling your body. He's calling your soul. The part of you that wants to return. The part that misses Him. The part that remembers Him even when your mind forgets. Sometimes you wake up heavy, your heart tight, your chest burning from anxiety. But the moment you sit on the prayer mat, you feel something shifting inside you. Something loosening. Something softening. Something being repaired. Allah is healing you in ways you can't see yet. You pray not because life is perfect, but because prayer makes life bearable. Because prayer gives you air when the world suffocates you. Because prayer restores what stress tries to destroy. And in those minutes, in that darkness, you realize something powerful. You were never walking alone. You never cried alone. You never broke alone. You were held all along. You just didn't notice it until now. This is why Allah wakes you. Because there are things He wants to give you that can only be given in privacy. There are blessings that descend at night that the day cannot hold. There are secrets, gifts and mercies that are meant to be unwrapped only when the world sleeps. When Allah wakes you at 2 a.m., it is a reminder that you matter to Him, that your heart is worth guiding, that your struggles are worth easing, that your story is worth rewriting, that your soul is worth reaching. And when you finally place your head in sujood, when your tears wet the ground, when you whisper words only Allah hears, something happens. Your heart begins to return home. Because a heart that bends before Allah can stand before anything. Because somewhere in the unseen, something is being written for you. Something that requires your heart to be connected, your soul to be awake, your faith to be alive. Something that requires you to be present with Allah while the world sleeps. People live their whole lives chasing moments of clarity, but clarity often arrives at 2 a.m. Not with noise, not with flashes, not with chaos, but with a soft whisper from the Lord of every heartbeat. You sit there in the dim stillness and suddenly you feel it. That strange pull, that sudden alertness in your chest, that quiet heaviness disappearing from your shoulders. It's as if Allah is gently saying, "Come, my servant, I've been waiting for you." And the truth is, you've been waiting too. You just didn't know it until now. Because life has a way of distracting you, pulling you into storms, flooding your mind with noise, piling weight on your soul until you forget how to breathe. But Allah doesn't let a heart He loves suffocate. He opens a window in the darkness. He lets your soul inhale again. He wakes you at the hour when His mercy descends like rain. You know that strange ache you've been carrying? The one you hide behind laughter? The one no one understands, not even you? That ache becomes louder at night because the night is honest. The night exposes everything you've been burying. But when Allah wakes you at 2 a.m., He's not exposing your wounds to break you. He's exposing them to heal them. You wipe your face, take a breath, and stand on your prayer mat. The room is dark, but your soul begins to glow. You raise your hands to say Allahu Akbar, and suddenly you feel like someone else is lifting your arms for you. You weren't strong enough to get up. Allah made you strong enough because He wanted to hear your voice. And when you begin to recite, something inside you softens. The verses feel different, slower, heavier, closer. You're not reciting to complete a prayer. You're reciting like someone who is finally being understood. Then comes sujood. The moment your forehead touches the ground, you realize this is where you belong. This is where all the pieces of you that life scattered finally come back together. This is where your heart stops shaking. This is where your soul recognizes its home. People don't understand why a believer wakes up at night. They think it's discipline. They think it's habit. They think it's guilt. But the truth is, when Allah touches your heart, sleep loses its power. The bed becomes heavy, but the prayer mat becomes light. Your body may be tired, but your soul becomes eager. Your eyes may close, but your heart stays awake. And sometimes you don't know what to ask for. Your thoughts are tangled. Your emotions are messy. Your problems are loud. But in sujood, everything becomes simple. You don't need fancy words. You don't need perfect du'a letter du'a Macron. You just need honesty. Ya Allah, I'm lost. And He hears it. Ya Allah, I'm hurting. And He comforts you. Ya Allah, I'm tired. And He restores you. Ya Allah, don't let me go. And He holds you tighter. The night is where broken people finally break open. Not to fall apart, but to be rebuilt by the one who never fails. And then something happens. Not instantly, not loudly, but deeply. You begin to feel a peace that has no explanation. It enters slowly like light under a door. It fills places inside you that nothing else could reach. That is Allah giving you tranquility. That is Allah responding to a du'a letter to BFI Macron. You couldn't even articulate. That is Allah telling your heart, I am with you. I have always been with you. The next day, people will look at you and see nothing has changed. But you will know everything has changed. Because you tasted the sweetness of the night, you felt your soul rise in a way the day could never make it rise. When Allah wakes you at 2 a.m., it's a sign that you are not an ordinary servant. You are someone He chooses, someone He pulls close, someone whose du'a, let it be if a Macron matters, someone whose tears are sacred, someone whose heart He wants to purify until it shines. He wakes you because He wants you to rely on Him, not on people. He wakes you because strength that the daylight cannot offer. The strongest warriors of faith are not made in crowds. They're made in solitude. They're shaped in the quiet. They're carved in the night. They're strengthened in sujood. And maybe you don't feel strong right now. Maybe you feel fragile, discouraged, worn out. But Allah doesn't wake the strongest. He wakes the ones He wants to make strong. There are angels around you at that hour, writing down every word, every tear, every breath of worship. There are gates of mercy opening that don't open during the day. There are blessings descending that are meant only for those who rise at that hour. Your name is being mentioned in gatherings you cannot see. And as you pray, you realize something profound. You don't need answers right away. You don't need solutions instantly, because the one who woke you already has the answers prepared, already has the solutions written, already has the path cleared, already has the timing chosen. All you need to do is trust. Trust that the one who woke you at 2 a.m. will not let your duʿā go unheard. Trust that your tears are never wasted. Trust that your effort is never ignored. Trust that your pain is not meaningless. Trust that your future is not forgotten. Because when Allah wakes you, He is preparing you for blessings bigger than your imagination, preparing you for doors you didn't even know existed, preparing you for peace that will make you forget every moment of hardship, preparing you for a destiny that needs a strong, purified, connected heart. You may not know what's coming, but Allah does. And He is waking you to shape you before He surprises you. So the next time you wake up at 2 a.m., don't think it's random. Don't roll over and force yourself back to sleep. Don't ignore the pull on your heart, because that moment, that hour, that awakening is a gift not everyone receives. It is a sign that Allah wants you close, a sign that He has chosen you, a sign that something in your life is about to shift, a sign that your duʿā is being prepared, not rejected, a sign that your heart is being guided, not abandoned. When Allah wakes you at 2 a.m., something divine is happening. Something your soul recognizes even when your mind doesn't. Answer Him, because the one who stands before Allah at night walks through the world with a light that no darkness can dim.